And Michael White taped over her mum's family video for the last bit of footage she had of her mum. Last name Stanley, and no one knows why it had to happen because the world isn't robotic. But he taped over her in a panic to tape football and taped over the footage mum had of her mum, and I caught mum in the morning one time crying her eyes out so badly because he taped over it, and I don't know what happened because it was in the morning. So where was Michael White and where was Kaz?
This is all my head, and when the torture started, this is what went through it.
Something to do with Cameron, like he died or something?
Lying in bed all night every night.
This is the torture that was going through my head. I had to sit there and
Mum
watch.
got accused of being guilty for faking identical twins' mistakes because Dad and Mum weren't married in the torture.
Mum, are you okay?
And she was in a prison cell wishing she'd hope to see us again one day. And then to hide that blonde was in us.
Trying to take the football.
Not
Mum's adopted son, Cameron Farmer.
They had to then say that he was known to be the biological dad in the end, like he owns us.
He had this
From Mum's last name is
to be
missing on the
like the
grave.
actual dad of us.
And Mum was in a prison cell
and Mum
and
was found guilty.
held responsible for being guilty of faking identical twins being mistakes. And the Olsen twins were born through not Balaclava being Hollywood, it's actually Balaclava in South Australia. How do they have American accents? Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen don't exist, and they're something to do with us, but they were known to be Hollywood famous with American accents, and so the secret with the identical twins with me and Cassie had to be hidden because they had twins too at the same time, and one represents Tammy, one represents Cassie, Mary Kate and Ashley, and they have the same differences, but they're not identical, they were fraternal and 10 minutes apart. And Cameron had to fake that he was the actual father to put the blonde in our hair because he was adopted earlier than we were born. And Mum was in a prison cell on the other side of the world in America.
This is all torture in my head.
In my head, through all the torture, and I was in a psychiatric hospital, and it was like really torturous being on a machine and in a hospital bed, but I didn't know where I was. And there was people staring, and Mum being held guilty and responsible for lying about twins. She was in prison in a deathbed cell, and then she saw in her head like a picture right at the end of everything, so it doesn't make sense. But Mum asked what has she ever done wrong, because all the abuse said she's nothing, and she even lost us and didn't know where we were. She had a picture of her mum, last name Stanley, Dorothy first, missing, grave unnamed, stabbing her in the back when she got to the end of her prison sentence. It was at like her deathbed old age, and she said, what have I ever done wrong? Like, she's never done anything wrong. She gave us everything, and there was not one thing that they told her about anything true, but she just didn't know where she was and didn't know where we were, but she's in a prison cell. And this started when I thought Kelly Clarkson was in my house and killed me, but a few things happened after that, because I ran to Mum and Kaz's aid after a few things happened in my head, then it happened again. So I ran to their aid a few times, so a few things had happened. But this was the first thing that I thought had happened when I thought Kelly Clarkson was in my house and I died or ended up somewhere else, and rang Mum and Kaz, forcing them to come pick me up. And Mum and Kaz both said no, and Mum said, do you know how crazy that sounds? Because I said, Kelly Clarkson's dad in jail, psychopath, murders, fan, lost her cousins in bloodthirsty murder. Uncle said he was set up in prison. I don't know what's just happened. I think Kelly Clarkson just killed me. I think she was just in the house, and I was panicking, needing her and Kaz.
Mum and Kaz.
Kelly Clarkson's dad jail, copyrighted rights to Kelly Clarkson DVDs, but Kelly Clarkson doesn't want to give him money, and no one knows if it's the mum's fault or the dad's fault and who Kelly Clarkson protects, and secrets in her family and rumours. and no one knows if she protects the mum or dad or whose fault it is. Because I was in a panic, not knowing what just happened or panicking over something. I didn't know what it was. All in one big panic to mum. And member tweeted, cancelled show, shit has hit the fan. Couldn't get all my words out at once, but I was in a panic, and I don't know why.
I used sad lyrics, but she
Thinking I was
didn't
in
hear
danger and scared of
I
Kelly
used the
Clarkson,
emotions you
like
said
they were
would
coming
work,
after me.
but I guess
And I
I
had
just
already
sang on
contacted
tune
the
or
police and then
something. She
contacted
didn't
them
hear them.
again
I
in a
don't know
panic
what she's
saying, are you
hearing.
here yet?
Nothing's growing.
I think she's in
I
her
don't
house
know
and
how
something's
she's
just
even
happened. I'm
not knowing.
panicking.
Hey
And
God,
mum
you showed you
responded to
could
the
bring the
blabber with,
weather.
do you know how crazy that
You know
sounds?
that song, Dear God?
So I sounded
Dear
defensive
John
because I
by
was already
Taylor
shut
Swift,
down
God.
so much.
When
By
Cass
Kelly
died,
Clarkson playing Bully
Michelle
and like
Branch,
the
Tuesday
band
morning
being
in the
really
beginning,
scary.
but I
And
changed
a
it to
rumour
Monday
about a
morning.
fan that gets invited on
Nothing
stage,
still makes
traded
sense
her
to you,
little
God.
cousins in
I
and they
gave you
were
away
found
like
dead
you were
with
Jesus instead of
bloodthirsty
Cass dying,
murder.
like
And
she
you
could come back to
And
life.
the uncle was
God's
saying that she
gone.
set him
Monday
up with
morning
Kelly
didn't
Clarkson. I
work.
said all this
In the
weird stuff
beginning,
to
Tuesday
mum on the
morning,
phone
Michelle
when I
Branch was
rang,
Avril Lavigne.
panicking because I thought Kelly
Twin
Clarkson was
sister
in the
choice.
hospital. But she was too big to be in the house, like it was like a robotic over the top of the house. I thought she was in the house, like watching me. So I said to the cop on the phone, like lacking confidence, I thought this last week that no one was here, so just letting you know. I just feel safer if someone comes to check the house. And then one lady cop came and I said, is it just you? In my head, Kelly Clarkson was really dangerous, like with an axe or something. So when the lady cop walked in, she checked the room, but my room, the light switch was broken, so I remember screaming out from the lounge room. When she went to turn on my light switch, she checked the room with like a torch, but it was really sus because like she couldn't get the light switch turned on. And I remember saying, oh, the light switch doesn't work. And so she checked the room with the torch, but then she went into mum's room to check with the torch. And in my head, someone stabbed her in the back or like literally stabbed her with a knife. Like literally stabbed her, or like something like handed her money or something, the secretive. Like literally, it was like I was getting kidnapped by a painless person, like who sold me to the devil or sold me, and I was getting kidnapped with grams of money involved. Stabbed her in the back or handed her money. So I was getting all this stuff in my head, like pictures in my head, and it had never happened to my mind before. So I was in a panic still before, like my mind's never gone crazy. And it wasn't meth or drugs. It never happened to my mind before. So when I called mum in a panic, I asked her to quickly call Kaz back and ask her to please come and pick me up. Because Kaz said no, she was on her laptop. Made much fuss of me in a panic wanting her to come pick me up. She didn't really hear what was wrong, like mum said. Do you know how crazy that sounds? But Kaz didn't hear much, so she just turned it down. So I rang mum back and asked her to beg Kaz to come pick me up. And mum rang back saying, okay, Kaz, we'll pick you up now. And I'm like, okay, thank you. I'm in the panic. And she said, do you know how crazy that sounds? Because I was trying to put two and two together and it all came in a flashback. And I'd never questioned why Kelly Clarkson's dad's in jail for copyrighted stuff. I've never known what a psychopath is and didn't know why psychopath was running in my head like a blooded murderer. And I thought she was in the house. It was like over the house, like a robotic sort of Kelly Clarkson over the whole house. And so I rang mum in the panic and she said, do you know how crazy that sounds? Because I found out her dad was in prison and I didn't ask why he was in prison for copyright stuff. And he sends her DVDs so but she doesn't want him in his life and he just wants money. And all these rumours and everything about Kelly Clarkson's family, and I didn't know if it was the mum or the dad's fault or all this horror, bloodthirsty rumours and everything all at once. And I rang mum saying, some secret in Kelly Clarkson's family and all this stuff. All at once. And she goes, do you know how crazy that sounds? And I'm like, I called the police, but I still felt unsafe because they checked the house. So Kaz said, no, I'm on my mat when I asked her to come pick me up, and mum hung up. And so I had to ring mum again and force Kaz to come pick me up because I'd feel safer going to her house anyway, even though there's no one in the house. And then it all started from there. I used to have to go to Port Wakefield or Kaz's place every weekend when mum would go to Port Wakefield so she could get away because she was doing retirement still. And I hated not being able to sleep at home on my own. It was like an isolated, long-term, horrible lack of feeling, long-term, isolated, depressing isolation feeling. And it just all started from there.
Tea Tree Plaza, Delta Goodrum, The Voice on TV after the Kelly Clarkson stuff. that moment.
It's like she was a guardian angel.
In the beginning, it was a quick blink to my eyes, and the light was in sight. With pink steps to heaven, pink sparkling stars too. I couldn't believe